Developments in Ukraine, where Nigerians fleeing the crisis in the country are now victims of racial discrimination, particularly those at the border between Ukraine and Poland. We're joined now by Senate Spokesman Ajibola Bashiru for more on this development. Senator Bashiru, is there a sense to which you agree with the Speaker of House of Reps that Nigeria perhaps came a bit too late to the party? Weeks before Russia's first strike in Ukraine, the intel was out there that an invasion was inevitable. But we waited before acting. How do you react to that?
I don't really, agree with that proposition. Considering the flurry of diplomatic activities, going on, and in fact, on the day that the invasion, commenced, there were even negotiations and discussions between the parties to the conflict. So I think it is just acting on the basis of what is available and what is taught, and nobody will think the crisis will escalate. Up to that particular level that has escalated to. But be that as it may, it's part of the process of international engagement to see how best the situation can be managed.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs raised these concerns during a meeting with envoys of the EU countries about the news coming from Ukraine, particularly with Nigerians who are having problems with entering neighboring countries like Poland. And the ambassador to Nigeria gave some, comforting assurance that that was going to change. On the news tonight, we still have parents who are worried about the safety of their children. We have pictures and videos showing Africans having great trouble accessing the neighboring countries. What more do you think that the Nigerian government can do at this time?
I think the Nigerian government will still need to continue to engage, possibly with the government of Ukraine, and they also ensure that access to safety of people who are caught in the crossfire is not hindered. And of course, the Nigerian government, and I believe Ministry of Foreign Affairs, are sufficiently experienced to also engage with the European Union countries as well as the United States, and see that the issue of the security and the safety of Nigerians are not jeopardized. It's unfortunate that the situation has to get to this level, and naturally, parents will be worried, and of course, relatives will be worried about the safety of their loved ones being trapped in the embattled country. But I believe that a lot of diplomatic activities will have to be done also to ensure that non-combatants are not becoming victim of the conflagration in Ukraine.
So everyone fleeing a conflict situation has a right of passage under the UN Convention. When stories like this break, do you think Nigeria should stand up and perhaps raise conversations with its counterparts around the world to ensure that
of course, I believe
this
that
doesn't
is
continue?
being done. That is being done, but you see, there is always a word of difference between stipulation of international law, particularly international humanitarian law, and what is actually on ground in terms of the real escalation of conflict. Of course, hostage taking is abhorred under international humanitarian law, but all of us know that in practice it is more comply in breach. And in this regard now, you have a situation whereby the nature of the conflict and the dimension is taken is multidimensional. So I believe that, as I'm speaking, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and of course the government of the country is doing its best to ensure that all diplomatic channels are being employed to ensure that our people are ferried to safety. Of course, it's troubling, disturbing, but in the circumstance, we can continue to pressurize and ensure that there's no positive hindrance, even on the part of Ukrainian authority, to hinder those who want to run out of to safety from the crisis that we have at our hand.
Well, Nigerians stranded in Ukraine, particularly the Nigerian students, will now be counting on you and your colleagues, as well as the federal government, to do the needful. Senate spokesman Ajibola Bashiru, thank you for talking to us tonight. Now,